actually wrote all these down before. We will do them again because I know you can use a good review. The little subheading under these equations are multi-step equations. Multi-step equations. And in case you're wondering, multi-step would mean somebody? Thank you very much. We're going to do more than one step. Which would probably beg you to ask, what are equations that aren't multi-step? Those are all the ones that we did that you can solve in one step. For example, x plus 6 equals 15. How did we solve that? This is not a multi-step equation because I can do it in one step. Connor, what did I do? You? Right. This is an addition equation. So to solve it, you do the opposite of addition, which is subtracting. You want x by itself, so you subtract 6. You subtract 6. This all goes away. You're left with that x, which we like to call isolating the x. And 15 minus 6 is 9. This is review, by the way. Or if it was this, 5x equals 105. What type of equation is that? Multiplication, 5 times x. How do I solve a multiplication one? Anybody, just chime in there anytime you feel like it. Yeah, you're going to divide. Do the opposite of that, which is divide. You're going to divide by 5. Divide by 5. Which means x is going to equal 21, right? Now, what we're doing today, children, is really what happens when you combine two equations together and get a multi-step one. Here is a garden variety, for example, for instance. Let's say you have this, 3x plus 5 equals 50. 3x plus 5 equals 50. By the way, let's just take a short break from this. Remember, we've already solved equations like this, except we did them by inspection. Remember that? When you just looked at it and said, And when you did that, what did we do? You said, what number when you add 5 to it gives you 50? What number when you add 5 to it gives you 50? 45. So you knew this had to be 45. And then you'd look at this and go, oh, 3 times what number would give you 45? That might be a little harder for you. Maybe somebody knows. Anybody know it there?
15 times 50.
Yeah, 15. So you knew x has to be 15. Well, we're not going to do it in our head anymore. We're actually going to do it out mathematically, and this is how that whole works. That's how this whole operation works. The only thing you have to remember is this. Okay, it's unlike order of operations. You always, 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 always get rid of the addition and subtraction stuff first. Get rid of the addition and subtraction stuff first. Because remember, our goal is to isolate the variable. Our goal is to get this x by itself. I want to know, what does x equal? What does x equal? We already know what it is. We already did the problem. Maybe I'll just keep coloring in multicolors here. So to do that, I want to get rid of this 5. How do I get rid of a plusing 5 or an adding 5? You just subtract 5, just like you do in any other equation. So guess what I ended up with over here? That same 45 that we talked about. So now I have 3x by itself equals 5. Okay, and then step number 2, after you get rid of the adding subtracting stuff first. Oh, I need a step half. Can I put a step half in here? Do you have room in your place to put a half? Can I do this? because we didn't have to do that. You need to I can't think of the word. You need to, I guess, simplify each side first. This is not my finest hour. I apologize to you for my lack of focus and dedication and concentration here. And then back to number 2, you need to do the multiplying and dividing stuff. By the way, once you get into this, it's really pretty simple. How do I get x by itself? This is 3 times x, the opposite of timesing. Divide by 3. 45 divided by 3, take my word for it, is 17. And if you want to know if your answer is right, you can always plug it back into the thing. What is 3 times 15? 45. And what is 45 plus 5? 50 is what I got there. How many people feel good about that? Don't raise your hand. 4x minus 12 equals 60. Take a look at this one. 4x minus 12 equals 60. My kingdom for a horse. First thing you should do is, I want to isolate the x, Joseph. I want to get the x by itself. That means I got to get rid of the 4 and I got to get rid of the minus 12. The first one I'm going to do is, Joseph, help me out here. Shall I go back and refer back to what we just wrote down?
You need to get rid of the 12.
I do need to get rid of the 12. How am I going to get rid of the 12, Emily? Do the opposite, which... Thank you very much. To get rid of a minusing 12, you add 12. I have to do that to both sides. Remember, do I have to get that little balance out? Remember when I got the balance and I said, look, if you take this away, it didn't work. Because that's what I was supposed to do. So this goes away. What is 60 plus 12? 72. I still have this 4x over here. And then, last but not least, and you'll find this in 95% of equations, the last thing you're going to do is division. Just about all the time, division is going to be the last step. So what am I going to divide by, Connor Morgan?
72 by 4.
Yep. I need to get rid of the 4. So divide 4 by 4. That gives me a 1x. Divide 72 by 4. And I'm sure you could do that in your head. It's 18, right? So the question is, does that really work? Well, 4 times 18 is 72. And if I subtract 12 from 72, I get 60, which is what the problem told me to do. But people feel good about that. What about if it has some decimals in it? Will decimals frighten you? How about this one? I'll let you do this one. 3m minus 1.5. 3m minus 1.5 equals 4.2. Have we done this already? I will give you 30 seconds or less, Zachary, to do this problem. On your mark, go. Stop. Not yet. Keep going. You done? You want to isolate / get rid of. Who's gone? Who's sits at the middle table?
Grace.
Oh, did I ask you that? You want to isolate the letter M. You want the letter M to be all by the letter M self. Really, the math shouldn't take that long. You should really technically be done with this. What was the first step you did, Lauren?
Get rid of the 1.5.
And how did you do that?
I added it.
Right, it's subtracting, so you do the opposite and add it because a minus and a plus go away, but you have to do that over here. How many people got this far in this problem? How many people will get that far next time? Then the next thing, like I said, once you get it down to this, it's pretty simple. It's usually about the same thing. Next step, Caleb Fisher, would be to divide by 3. And 3 goes into 1.5, what, 1.9 times? Right? How many people got that? How many people didn't this time, but will for sure get it next time? Where did we go wrong, Brian?
I was doing a multiplication with the 2 and 5 this year. So I could.
Sure, why not? Okay, now, lest you thought that was really the hard part, we really haven't got to the hard part yet. Well, I mean, there's one more step here. Well, no, I'm gonna give you one more, sorry. 30n plus 22 equals 292. Give you another shot at solving it. Solve that one for me. Because I sense we're making some sort of progress. How much, I don't know, but some sort of progress. Not an affirmation. And the answer we got, when all the smoke clears, Connor? I don't know, maybe. Let's see. First thing you should have done was subtracted 22, correct? Subtracted 22. And you get 30 times some number is 270 divided by 30. Divided by 30, you can cross out those zeros. 27 divided by 3 is, in fact, 9. And we got, how many got that one? Wait a minute, what happened to this side of the room? John, what happened? Where did we go astray? Any particular area, Caleb? Somebody? Anybody? Alright, now, here we go. Just need you to focus with me for just a little while longer, right? Oh, one more, just because we didn't do this. All right. X over 5 plus 4 equals 13. Before you do this problem, look at it carefully. Is there something a little bit different about this one than the other problems you had? What is it, Cassie? Yes. How is that going to change how you solve it? You're still going to get rid of that first, but remember I said 95% of the time you're going to multiply or divide at the end to get your answer. This time when you get to the end, you're going to have x divided by 5 equals 13 or whatever. How am I going to change that or get rid of that 5? Yes, this is that 5% of the time that you'll actually have to not divide, but you'll have to multiply as your last step. because it's division here. So now I'll let you do it. I'll expect great results. Then and only then shall we proceed on to higher ground. You have a question, Sophie? You give me an answer. Which question?
Does it mean the things can be a fraction?
Matter of fact, it almost guarantees the answer won't be a fraction because you're not dividing, you're multiplying. And rarely when you multiply do you get a fraction. Two whole numbers times themselves will always give you a whole number. Shouldn't be too terribly tough. You subtract 4, you got 9, right? Some number divided by 5 equals 9. How do you get rid of division? You multiply, because when you multiply they cross cancel. You multiply. Hopefully, this side of the room included, you got 45 for the answer. Yes, is there a question in there, or are you just raising your hand? Alright. Now, let's move to the hard stuff. Ready? Remember that step number half, or what step was it? This part right here. Go back to this, well don't go back there. Think about this right here. This little step right here we have not done yet, but we will right now. I've got to simplify inside of the equation. Sometimes you will run across a problem that looks like this. 4x plus 10. 4x plus 10 plus x equals 100. Now, how is this different than any of the other problems we saw before? Oh, you observant ones. Chase, how is this different?
There's a third element.
The who?
A third number.
A third term, if you will, but okay. Before you solve an equation, when you end up with something like this, you have to look at both sides. That step 1/2 said simplify each side if you can. Well, obviously there's nothing you can do with 100. It's going to stay 100 because it's by itself over there. But when you look at this left side, you can do something to the left side to simplify / combine stuff together. Thoughts, suggestions? What two terms would be alike and could be put together, Aaron? Right, if you have 4x and x, you get 5x's, yeah. So if you can combine some stuff, combine it, and then voila, it's just like all the other problems we've done. You solve it the same exact way, but you have to, if you can, simplify something by putting terms together so that you can do that. And this will be done just like we've been doing. Subtract 10, you get 90. If 5x equals 90, x is going to equal, anybody?
18.
I'm going to find a really hard one. Is there a really hard one to do? 7x minus 12 minus x is 24. 7x minus 12 minus x is 24. Last one. Let's finish with 100% getting this one right. 7x minus 12 minus x equals 24. What do you suppose? X minus x. 7x minus 12 minus x. Combine what you can, go farmers. answers we have somewhere, someplace, sometime. What color haven't we used yet? John, what did we come up with?
6.
John says 6. Anybody agree? Mostly. Let's look here. First thing you have to do is combine what you can on this side. If you have 7 x's and you subtract an x from it, you left with 6 x's. You still have the minus 12. You still have the 24. Get rid of a minus 12, you add 12. Add 12, you end up with a 36. And if 6x equals 36, x then equals 6. Practice makes perfect, children. Eventually you'll catch on to this. Did you have